AST Space Mobile is an innovative company building the first space-based cellular broadband network to make it more accessible to hard-to-connect locations. The company has partnerships with Verizon and AT&T, and it's forecast to experience a huge surge in revenue next year. That being said, AST Space Mobile is still in very early stages of building a sustainable business and is on the higher end of the risk spectrum. Still, some investors are interested in this high-risk, high-potential, innovative stock. In this video, I'll let you know if I think this stock is a buy, hold, or a sell at current prices.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
Like I mentioned, the company is building the first and only space-based cellular broadband network accessible directly by everyday smartphones, and it's designed for both commercial and government applications. Now, the company's first 5 commercial satellites are on target for a dedicated orbital launch in the first half of September, each the largest ever communications array to be deployed commercially in low Earth orbit. Now, it speaks well of the company that it has partnerships with the largest mobile companies. It has a strategic investment from Verizon, which brings $100 million of financial commitment, including $65 million of commercial prepayments and $35 million of convertible notes, along with AT&T, which signed a definitive commercial agreement in May, enables nationwide 100% geographical coverage, target in the United States 850 megahertz low band spectrum. Now, in addition to the money that it brings in, this adds credibility to AST Space Mobile. And when you're just starting out and you're using capital in research and development and operating expenses, and you've yet to reach your generating revenue peaks, it's important to have these types of partnerships because it helps you get capital. So if you have a partnership with Verizon and AT&T, it legitimizes the business. Other investors think to themselves, well, if Verizon and AT&T are investing in this company, it has a pretty good chance of success. And so we will be willing to give this company money, or we will be willing to lend to this company because they have Verizon and AT&T on their side. And the same is true for employees and suppliers, etc. It adds credibility. People will be more interested in working with AST Space Mobile if they know that, oh, Verizon is with them, AT&T is with them. And so this company, instead of being a relatively unknown startup with difficulty in raising capital, in gaining relationships, it makes it more credible. And it's even more credible that it's companies within its industry. I always say a big name investment is more credible if it's within your industry. Now, if this would have been an investment from, let's say, a consumer goods company like Home Depot investing in AST Space Mobile, it wouldn't add as much credibility as it being Verizon and AT&T. The company says it expects initial nationwide non-continuous service to be available with AT&T and Verizon in a beta test users following in-orbit service activation over the coming months. The company is on the cusp, starting to generate significant revenue. Now, looking at some of its financial highlights, as of June 30th, 2024, they had cash and restricted cash of about $288 million and additional liquidity of $51 million. Total operating expenses of the second quarter were $64 million, but that included $29 million of depreciation, amortization, and stock-based compensation expense. Importantly, these are non-cash expenses, so you can remove that from that $64 million in terms of how much cash they went through in their latest quarter. That lowers it down closer to $30 million. And so if you look at, they've got a little over $300 million in liquidity, and they went through about $30 million in the most recent quarter. They have about 10 quarters or about 2 years of runway in cash on hand. So that gives them plenty of time to hit milestones. And once they hit these milestones, it'll be easier for the company to raise capital if they should need to. So they've got sufficient capital to last them a couple of years. So AST Space Mobile is forecast to generate roughly $94 million in revenue in its current fiscal year 2024. That's expected to surge more than 5x to $505 million next year. That's a 437% increase. Of course, this is not certain, but the analysts that are following AST Space Mobile, this is what they forecast for the company next year. Now, already, because the company has hit certain milestones, the stock price has exploded higher year to date in 2024. It started the year off trading at about $6 per share, and it's now exploded higher all the way up to $27 per share. It was closer to $40 per share before retracing back down to $27 per share, given the recent news that I covered about the company raising more capital and giving a business update. That capital raise had the potential of diluting shareholders, and so investors were not thrilled that the company made that move. Still, it may have been an opportune time for the company to make that move, given the stock price had increased by so much and given that they had hit certain milestones. So now the stock is trading at a very expensive forward price to sales ratio of 56.59. But this is because the growth rate in revenue is expected to soar over the early years of its business operation. It's yet to generate anywhere near the amount of revenue it's expected to generate at scale. So what do I think about AST Space Mobile stock? Do I think it's a buy, hold, or a sell? Well, for me, given that it's in such early stage development of the business, I'm still rating this company as a hold. I haven't seen enough out of this company to recommend it as a buy in this early stage. The risk versus reward for me is not favorable at the moment. When I get more information about the company and I hear more about how much revenue the company is expected to generate over the next 5 years or so, perhaps I will change my decision here on AST Space Mobile stock. But for now, I'm rating this as a hold. This is sort of a wait and see type of company for me. I need more information to evaluate before I can upgrade this stock to a buy. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.